So, welcome to today's episode. Today, we're fitting the last sleeping pod. So that's going to be going on that side, over there. The reason I'm only filming doing one is I thought it'd get a bit lobotomous and boring, doing all the windows and the pods. It'd work out being like a 2-hour long episode and there's no need for it. There's loads of videos of people putting windows on YouTube. Have a look at them. They probably do it better than me because, as I said, that one of mine is leaking. So, and that pod. So I've left it to the last one because I've actually worked out what I'm doing now and how to do it, ish. So, to start off, let's turn you around. Start off, what we're doing is we're going to have to cut out these main supports, these panel supports. So I'm going to mark a line across here, flush with these, top and bottom. I'm going to come along with a grinder, just got a little cordless grinder, and cut along the top. Then we're going to come down, going to feel for where these are bonded, because these are bonded onto the skin of the van, and cut below that. That means when you come in with your jigsaw, you can cut right the way around and remove the centre section. That leaves you with a thin line right the way around. By cutting out that middle section, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to get a neat cut on your outside section because that panel's under a lot of tension. A hell of a lot of tension. So that makes it a hell of a lot easier because you relieve that tension taking out the biggest middle section. Then you can go around and neaten it up. I'm going to be using 1 or 2 jigsaws. Got 2 jigsaws there, and then for the corners, the best tool I found that I had to do them was a little body air saw. So I'll be using that to do the radius sections, as I found that a lot easier than trying to cut round the corners with a jigsaw. It didn't work trying to cut round the corners with the jigsaw. So yeah, it didn't work cutting around the corners with the jigsaw, so we'll use the body saw instead. Right, so first thing, we're going to mark up, then we're going to start cutting. So I shall shove you on a tripod. So the first thing I'm doing here is getting something with semi-straight edge, lining it up with them lines, just drawing a line. Just gives me something to work to when I'm cutting. And we do the same with the bottoms here. Get it lined up. Oh, try not to draw your thumb into it. Right, they're marked up. Right, now we get our angle grinder, we start cutting. Now, we've cut right the way around. That's our neat cut. Now we're going to come down, take out another section of this. Just so, when we come round with the jigsaw, we can pull that panel straight out, no issues. There we go. That's all of the grinding done. So, next part, get some holes drilled in it. when you're jigsawing along, you can meet up with holes. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier. Obviously, if you're using a jigsaw, you'd need to drill one hole anyway, so you might as well drill a couple. I use just a cone bit, just a step bit, straight through, dead easy. So, where are we going to start? So, start here. So each corner you're going to put at least 2 holes, just makes it easier to join them up with a jigsaw, because a jigsaw can jump around quite a bit when you're trying to get into these tight radiuses as you lift the base of the jigsaw off your substrate to get it to go around the corners. So as you can see there, got some holes drilled, ready to run a jigsaw now. All we need to do now, get some power to the van and start cutting out that main centerpiece. Then we'll go back in with a jigsaw, neaten up around all the edges, jigsaw and air saw for the corners. So now, our jigsaw, start cutting into the van. Right, I think I'll go along the top first, come down the sides, then do the bottom. So, got the top done, bottom done. Just join up that hole down the sides, and then we'll have just small pieces holding the main panel in. So it's dead easy to get a suction cup on and just nip them corners out. You can lift the whole thing without it dropping out and damaging anything. There we go, that's all the main parts cut. Ready for just these corners to be snipped. That whole middle panel will come out. So, make it easier to grab. Get yourself a sucker on there. Run the 2 bottoms first, then we'll come up and do these top 2. There we go. There's the main amount removed. As you can see, we've got this piece right the way around that you still need to remove. Just removing that big piece first allows you to stick your head through and see where you're cutting relieves a lot of stress in the panel, so you're not fighting the stress, and it allows you to just get in easier with a jigsaw to do the straights. And as I said, I use an air saw to do corners. So now, time to neaten up all the edges, get the final cut in, and then we can bond the pod on. And I've snapped a bit. Right. A good tip is always keep some jigsaw bits when you're doing these. Now I've got the bulk of the straight lines cut out with jigsaw, I go on to using air body saw because I found it's the easiest way to to cut down the corners. So we'll go for this. There we go. It's one corner out. So, air saw, brilliant for doing the corners. Now, to show you. Now, it's not the neatest, but it doesn't really matter due to the fact it's all going to be covered in trim anyway. So now what we'll do is we'll get a file, neaten up all the edges with a file, get them clean. We'll blow down the outside of the van. As you can see, it's covered in metal filings now. But there we go, there's the whole cut, ready for the pod to be bonded on. So now, got a nice fine file, just going to go around all the edges and clean it up. You'll find sometimes when you're using the jigsaw it'll snag, and it'll pull the metal skin out or in. So then you just got to go around with a dolly, hammer that back flat, it's nice and smooth, no mountings on it for the pod to bond to. So I'll just go and get a hammer and dolly and we'll sort out these little imperfections. I think we've only got one or two, which isn't bad. A little slight one up there. Right, to sort out these little dents, all I use is an axle nut off a trailer. Get it in there. Tap, tap, tap. Sorted. Little one there. Tap, tap, tap. Gone. Let's see. Oh, we've got a touch of one there. So we're sorted. So if it does happen, don't worry about it because it's particularly easy to sort out. Right, so the next part to do, get outside, start prepping the outside of the van for bonding. Dead easy, bit of panel wipe it down, apply your primer, and then I'll show you some tips about getting the pod on itself and about bonding the pod on, as if you put the bonding onto the van itself, you can very easily miss where your bonding is, bonding the actual pod on itself. So basically half your bonding won't actually touch your pod, as I found out with the first pod we put on. So now we're gonna panel wipe all the area down, we're gonna prime it up, leave it to dry, and then we'll start bonding the pod on. So I just use normal panel wipe, it's available at any automotive paint shop. Bit of rag. Right. Just a bit of panel wipe on a rag. Give it all good cleaned out. Just get rid of any grease or grime. I mean, look at that. The van's hardly been anywhere, it's hardly moved, it's just sat here. Just give it all a good wipe down. Get rid of any crap that might inhibit it bonding correctly. Right, now I'll go and get a dry rag, do the same thing. It's always good practice with panel wipe, to wipe it on, wipe it off, like you're waxing something. You get your best results that way. There we go. Now to prime. Just your black standard automotive windscreen primer. Give it a shake up. If you're just bonding these onto your van and you're keeping your paintwork, I would suggest probably putting a bit of masking, just in case you get any drips and dribbles. the rest of our van's getting primed anyway, so it doesn't really affect us. The other thing I do, get a bit of the primer. I know most people do this, you just go around the edges on these. Just protects the metalwork, stops it rusting. You will probably have primer left over anyway, so you might as well use it. Good dousing. That's our priming done. Now leave that half an hour to set up, and then we can start looking at bonding the pod on itself. Now before we start bonding, a couple of things to think about. Warm up your tubes of bonding first before you start. It makes them a lot easier to come out the tube. Now this is one of the issues I had with this sliding window and that other pod, was I hadn't warmed up the tubes of bonding properly before trying to apply the bonding. The other thing I found, and it might be to do with I haven't got the strongest of hands, is even once it was warmed up I couldn't get it out the tube properly with a mastic gun. So let's go to my work van. I'll show you what we bought. Now it is a lot of money for what it is, and for it's only going to get used while doing the van. We bought one of these, which is a Milwaukee Electric Caulk Gun. That made life a hell of a lot easier doing the second window. I'd recommend it. Luckily enough for me, I do a lot of bonding windows on in work onto diggers, so I could justify the cost of it, and I already had Milwaukee batteries, so I could get a bare unit instead of having to pay full whack for everything. So let's go and have a look at how the van's doing now. So we've got our window cut out, our primer on. Absolutely slap the primer everywhere because it doesn't matter with us, because eventually the whole van's getting wrapped in the white. Eventually, should be next this next coming winter, next year's winter, we'll be doing that. But yeah, now we just got to leave that to dry, and then I'll show you how to bond the windows on. I mean the pods. So, primer's dry, ready to bond this on. So, first thing we do, get a cartridge, little tab, snap that off, little tab on the nozzle, ring pull, pull that, take our nozzle off. Pierce it. This can be a bit tough. Nozzle back on. I've got a bit on me, but luckily I'm in work clothes, so this stuff does not come off. Right, get our Milwaukee powered gun. Tube in. Right. Push. Prime the tube up. There we go. Now, just going to run a bead right the way round. Now fitted to the side of the van, put some Gorilla Tape up top just to hold it, stop it from sagging. Get this on the van, happy days. Right, now where it's squeezed out, we'll just get some panel wipe on that, clean it all up. So there we go, pod's on. All that's left to do is go around with a bead of white Sikaflex just to make sure it's sealed, and do the other side with the white Sikaflex as well. So we'll get onto that in a minute. So we'll move back over to the other side, start Sikaflexing. What we're going to do is we're going to wipe it all down, dry it off, panel wipe it, and then Sika primer it. And use the Sika primer as a key for the Sikaflex to bound into. I'm using Sikaflex white. It's a 521 UV resistant, so that's what we're going to use for this one. Our Sika primer here. We're just going to give it a good clean right the way around. We've also got some no-nonsense silicone smoothing tools just to be able to get a nice finish. So we'll try them out as well. end of this episode. It's been a long one because we've gone through literally step by step the process of fitting the pods. I couldn't find any real videos of how people are fitting them, so I thought I'd do a detailed video on how to do them. So we've got both of the pods in now. We've fixed the leak on the window. We've fixed the leak on that pod there. So we're all watertight now. So in the next episode, we're going to be fitting skylights. So we've got a Heki MIDI 2 to go in. And we've also got a Maxi Fan Deluxe to go in here. So that'll give us good forced ventilation through the van. Hopefully keep condensation down. If you enjoy watching our videos and find them informative, please like, comment, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring the little bell for notifications for every time we release a video. Hopefully we're going to be releasing every 2 weeks in the new year, as hopefully I shall have some more time and the weather shall be better. So on that note, I'll catch you next time, and we'll get a couple of shots around the van, and you can have a look around it now.